Legendary Gary Vee. Warning, I'm going to have a lot of personal FI here because I love Gary Vee. I've been following him since 2006. Yes, I've been following him that fucking long. So there's Tony Robbins and there's Gary Vee. In fact, when Tony Robbins and Gary Vee were in the same room together, Gary Vee trumped Tony Robbins. And now, goddammit, thinking this out loud, now that makes sense why we saw that. When Shani and I watched a video with those two in an interview together, we're like, why is Tony the bigger dinosaur type-wise, but why is Gary dominating Tony, right? You might even go back and look that up if you want to look at the social needs. So this video here is going to be a lot about social needs. We're going to be social types or whatever. Gary Vee being an extreme number one, and he's an EJ. That's kind of a contradiction. If you're going to be the guy at the top, the selfish asshole, you're going to do it your way. Kind of works out if you're an IP, a masculine IP, an aggressive IP, a sleep IP. It's kind of weird if you're an EJ and you're like, my way, and I'm going to be the king. It's like, yeah, but you're a DE. You're supposed to be a desperate idiot. They're like, yeah, I do that too. Anyways, back to my way. It's a very fascinating thing. Arnold Schwarzenegger, you see that happen, right? Gary Vee, if you haven't ever followed him or watched him, you're missing out, and I would highly recommend watching his keynote speeches. When he's on stage, that's where he fucking rocks. And then now he's just super multimillionaire, runs a marketing business, just like Stephen Bartlett. And, a lot of people that are FESE, they're like, yeah, dude, just do marketing, do sales. One of the things about Gary Vee, if you follow him or know him, is he jokes about it, but it's not funny. He is very aggressive, especially when he gets in his little sports things. He goes to the stadiums and he'll throw beer and yell at old men and get really aggressive. And he'll talk about it like, yeah, it's kind of weird that I get so aggressive because I'm always preaching kindness and, other effy bullshit. But I have this, I will fucking beat you up and crush you side. And everybody's kind of not really processed that, including myself. Been watching him for over 10 years. I'm like, yeah, you're just a double masculine guy. It's like, okay, wait a minute. No. Show me some of these clips. So when I actually went back and actually looked at what he's actually saying and what he's actually doing, he's saying it all the time. He's like, I have a strong desire to fucking crush everyone, super competitive, and I have to be number one, I have to be at the top, and I can't stand losing. And I'm like, dude, right? Well, no matter what it is, paper, scissors, rocks, I can't fucking lose, right? And it's like the old ancient stories of, the dictators and the queens. It's like if you offend them, off with your head, that kind of thing. And so Gary is saying, he's like, if you beat me at paper, scissors, rock, off with your head. And he's got that competitive drive, which is, if you have that kind of extreme, well, that's going to tend to get you to shift your way towards the top. You know what I mean? So it's been a lot of processing for me to go, God damn, this is what this guy's trying to hold back. This is what he's trying to deal with, and how that he is actually so loving and kind, even though he's got this fucking raging monster inside of him. Just more respect now that I've been able to understand him and see him as a real person at more of a level, and as well as in my own life go, you know what? I do gotta put my name to something. I'm just kind of working, and I'm just kind of the guy doing the thing. It's like, where am I going? What am I doing? Who am I gonna be the best at? You know what I mean? Official type, double masculine, FESE, double activated. So you think about Will Smith, Stephen Bartlett. There's a whole entrepreneur crew that has these set of functions. And then what's most amazing about Gary Vee is you couldn't have a harder fourth function. Feminine TI or feminine FI at the bottom, fuck you activation. How the hell is this guy should be one of the most non-confident people on the fucking planet, and he's he is the most confident person on the planet. There's everybody else, and there's Gary Vee. In the self-growth world, in my opinion, there's everybody else, and then there's Gary Vee. He is just head and shoulders above everybody else, especially if you know his deck of cards and what he's been able to do. And again, reference the backstory of all the hard times he's went through, and coming from Russia and being in New York, and his parents, he just had, and this is what he's been saying for 10, 15 years. He's like, I am who I am because it's my parents, and it's genetic, and it's always been that way. And now that we're understanding each part, goddamn, it's making so much sense. So number one, he's going to have ego, drive, I'm the best, my identity, my goals, I got to be legendary. You're going to see that. Responsibility, that's going to be the side tool. These two are savers at the top. Then there's going to be the specialization. Okay, fine. I'll work the cash register. I'll work the wine thing. I'll do the task. It won't kill me, but I don't want to do it. And then friends. That's where he's going to have the hardest time. And if you actually watch Gary Vee, even though he's very popular, he doesn't have friends. He really doesn't. If you those that have friends that really do have friends, right? Compared to the other half of the population that truly have friends. You go to barbecues, you hang out, you're your buddies, you're there for them, right? If they're at the hospital, do you go visit? Yes, right? That's a real friend. Gary ain't, he's busy, unless you use it as one little group, click. It's weird with friends. You'll see that if you watch the guy. All right, let me roll into these clips and watch this.
I got so damn lucky, Steve. I came out the womb, and my mom talks about this a lot. you know, who I was in the playground at 3 years old when we first moved to America, like immediately running to all the 80-year-olds and schmoozing with them. You're fucking 4. You didn't read Malcolm fucking Gladwell. You didn't listen to Gary Vee. You're fucking 4. I'm fucking 4 years old and I'm going out with my Jessica Shia, my grandfather Shia, and I'm fucking gabbing it up with the 82-year-olds and like desperately trying to make them laugh and smile because a lot of them came from Russia and were sourpussed in the last stage of their life. America was fucked up when we all got here. There was a real recession in the Carter years. Queens was fucking Queens back then, not like it is now. Like it was fucking, and like I had a deep need to make these 85-year-olds smile for a second because they weren't smiling the rest of the day. It's who the fuck I am.
There you go. Since 4 years old, FE, since 4 years old, FE sees you're not smiling, you're in a bad mood. Let me go help you out. It's all he's looking to do is not trying to solve the thing. 4 years old, that's what we're seeing in the code. People ask us like, hey, do you think your type changes? Do you think it comes on when you're 12? Or like, that's not what we're seeing in the data. What we're seeing in the data is exactly this. It's right away the fucking day you're born.
What's your dark side?
Probably my unhealthy, there's a version of me on a competitive scale that can get dark. I'm incredibly competitive. The only place I feel like I'm dark is when I'm competing. Like it's crazy. Moments ago, a couple hours ago, we did rock, paper, scissors tournament with our leadership team as an exercise. I lost to Peter Chun, head of platforms, the guy that talks to Snap and everything. I quickly thought after I lost in the first 5 seconds, should I fire him?
Off with his head.
Thank God at 47, the wisdom years, I used to punch. If Dustin Bingham, Joe Minikawa, Glenn Curtis, Eric Rainey,
Play Energy Tribe.
Can you guys all stand up and go to social media and tell everybody the following truth of what happened anytime I lost in Madden 94 in a dorm room? I would punch a hole in the wall knowing I would have to pay a fine with my own money, but I was incapable of dealing with losing.
Why?
Because I wanted to win.
Why? Because I wanted to win. Like, you just can't understand. Why are you so angry? Why do you want to fire a guy? But rock, paper, scissors, like I would feel connected to that guy. I would feel happy. No, I feel like I want to get rid of him. And like that is what the number ones are going through in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, if you're a fucking double masculine, FE, Gary Vee, like that's going to be, if you're Conor McGregor, you know, if you're Donald Trump, it's going to be a very intense, aggressive, masculine, extroverted feeling, right? Now you could be, we see people that are little mopes. Little tiny INFP mopes, little blast little blast mope INFPs, and they're number ones. So the way that energy comes out is going to be very different, right? Well, I don't think I'm a number one because I don't punch a hole in the wall. Like, hey, no, it might be depression. You might be grinding your fucking teeth at night. Some way, shape, or form. There's an aggression. There's an anger of, that person got one up on me. They're over me. I can't fucking take that.
And where did that? You're clearly a unique standout person that loves to win. Where did that, like, was there an early moment where that was reinforced? That winning is great, Gary.
No, as a matter of fact, it was like not even like talked. You know, this is why the 80s were epic. And more importantly, I'm joking. This is why my mom was epic. It wasn't like she was like, there was no talk of that. It was just pure DNA. I'm massively competitive. I like it. I like the game. My brother has it. My dad has it. Like, we're competitive. I think it manifests in different people, but it wasn't reinforced. It just was like innate. And I really like where I have it now at 47, which is like, I've learned how to deal with the fact that I'm not the best at everything. That's what life taught me through the years. But I really like trying. Like, you know what's one of my favorite things?
So what I gotta say is, like, Gary Vee is a very unique, impressive individual, but the more that we really understand and define all of these coins is completely fucking normal for his type and his upbringing. The fact that, well, he's a middle child, but the fact that he had to like take charge, right? So it's like, he comes from Russia, so he's got the backstory. You got to have a good backstory. You can't get fucked up as a kid in this way or that way. You got to have it just right to where there's a lot of pressure, but not too much pressure. And he had that environment just right? Because a lot of people would be the same type as Gary Vee, and their upbringing was really fucking weird or whatever. They just kind of just went over and they worked down at Walmart, and it's no big deal, you know? Anyways, the point is, like, this is all normal. You take somebody with an upbringing like that, it's just a math equation. Upbringing like that, a crazy ass intense type like that, crank it up to double masculine sleep blast, and then add number one, that's what you get. And then have parenting that kind of helps him along the way. Like, his dad was kind of hard on him, and his mom was really, really nice to him. His mom, I would take a guess that his mom is lead FE, F-E-N-E, possibly similar to my mom, and probably number 4, probably very friendly. And then his dad was like the IP asshole. His dad is a fucking dick. Like honestly, watching his dad over the years, like, I don't like his dad. His dad is definitely a fucking dick, and that's coming from me, who's a fucking dick and likes everybody. His dad is kind of dick. So his dad gave him one extreme, his mom gave him another, just a perfect balance. And then this equals Gary Vee. Everything's normal. Same with Andrew Tate. Like, number one, Sleep Last Play, double masculine, little backstory equals Andrew Tate. Everything is fucking normal. So it's the fact that like these crazy anomalies that are like, what the hell? And like you take the code apart, you're like, nope, everything looks normal. That's what we're seeing like on everybody else's life. Like, oh, but I have it really hard, and my story, and my mom, and my dog, and my ADD medicine, and my this, and like, yep. No. All that makes sense. Now there's a lot of freedom to that, because it's like, in one sense, you're not fucking special, but in the other sense of, oh wait, I'm not special. So these are all just parts, right? You think your life is this one big clump. It's not. It's a bunch of little parts, and you can go figure out and see and work on all of those parts.
Actually, I'll give you a good one. I've got a brewing regret. My best friend in the world is Brandon Warnke.
Oh, friends.
I met him the first day of freshman year of high school. Within the first 6 months, I'm like, this guy's gonna work with me. We did baseball card shows together. I knew I was gonna build my dad's business by then. I wanted him. I fucking courted him to be in that business from sophomore year on. And he became my partner in crime along with Bobby Schifrin, my second cousin, and my dad, and we built Wine Library. Lately, I've been feeling that we have not had enough friend time one-on-one as we start going and starting to see 50, and it's something I really want to work on.
Okay, so, right, I mean, it's just like this, you'd think I'm like editing these clips together. Like I'm just, like, you don't know how much I'm in a fucking hurry during the week. I've got so many fucking other things to do. Like the amount of preparation I do on these is very fast, because I gotta just go. So I'm like, I grab the interview, I grab it. I literally will screen capture it and then put it into the editing thing of like, all right, I'm making a class out of whatever is in this footage. That is how I do most videos. Just grab it, screen capture it, then I consume it later. So I don't even know what's in the clip when I'm fucking chopping it up. I just knowing, oh, he's having an honest conversation with Steven. I bet you there's some good stuff in there, right? So think about that when you're sending in your video typing video. It's like, look, if you're in an honest state, this shit is coming out everywhere, right? So notice the number one thing of like, yeah, now that I'm hitting 50, kind of see that I kind of suck at friends, right? And that's what we see. Shan talks about that of like, a lot of times you'll see number ones, they'll have, I picture it like a little bird in a cage, or a little hamster. They got their little dog, they got their little, their little pet. And you're like, okay, that looks a little weird. Where they're just very with this one little animal. It's like, help me. And it's got a little hat on, And it's like a lot of times the number ones, they don't have friends like this, right? So like watch my hands, like friends this way, or friends this way, or friends, it's more like I have a friend, and there's all these strings tied where I pull this string and he does this for me, and I pull this string and he does this for me. It's just kind of like a king and slave master kind of situation. And like, go read. This also makes sense. Like this is about the funniest thing. A lot of this coming together. Like over the years, I followed Gary Vee, like on his Glassdoor reviews on the internet. People that work for VaynerMedia. It's like 2 stars. I think he's improved it over the years, but it was like one of the most straight shit horrible places to work at, and still kind of is, because it's just run like a bunch of fucking gangsters. It's run like a fraternity. Like it runs like, the guys at the top get to run and do their shit, and then you're just a slave getting abused. And that is normal. That is normal that we see of bosses that are number ones or sometimes number threes. They're like, I don't give a fuck if you got to do your weekend. You're my fucking slave. Go do the thing. Now, I'm being kind of extreme there. It's like they're still nice about it, whatever. But compared to people that are like, yay, let's do it together, friendship. It's a big contrast when you're looking for it.
The first time I've seen you get emotional recently, as it relates to on stage, was that moment where you talked about your mother. And I was going through, I've got these photos here of you as this young man. I was going through all of these pictures and I was reading how you've described her, especially in recent years. This was my favorite picture here of you and your...
in Russia.
Yeah. I've never seen you get emotional on stage before, other than when you talked about the profound influence she's had on you. So if this were, God forbid, the last day you had on earth to send a message to your mother, what exactly would you say?
You did it. She just really wanted to be the best mother because she didn't have one. I would just say she did it.
What did she do?
She made me happy. I want to make everybody happy. And it's because I'm aware that she did a better job making me happy than anything I've ever seen about anybody and anywhere about anything. And I just feel like if I don't do that, given that I was given the gift of gab, if I don't scale that, if I don't help the biggest thing I can do for her is scale what she did for me.